Welcome back to Empire Secrets. I'm your host, Mariana Henninger. Today, I want to talk about something that came up when I spoke with my good friend, Brenda McCowan. I was in her pre launch plan program, which is actually, I think she's launching again very soon. And I love Brenna. In fact, fun fact, I was chatting with ChatGPT the other day and doing this whole exercise around who are my competitors, who are my indirect competitors. And this was from Caitlin Burgoyne's Painkiller program. If you want to check it out, I have an affiliate link for that. It's brandmagnetic.com/painkiller. As part of taking her program called Painkiller, one of the exercises was to identify my competitors for the Brand Video Accelerator. And direct competitors, indirect competitors. In fact, like for direct competitors, it came up with a lot of folks who work with like confidence in video or video marketing, which is not the same thing. So even though a brand video is technically video marketing, it is much more related to emotional marketing around priming your audience for the sale. All of the things that Robert Cialdini talks about in his book, Persuasion. In fact, I'm going to quote him in a little bit. But anyway, so one of the indirect competitors that came up for me in this exercise, lo and behold, number one was Brenna. And I was like, oh my gosh, how have I never thought about this? Obviously, it changes nothing in the way that I see her or her program. In fact, I think her program is so high and fine tuned. There's so many similarities between what she teaches and what I teach. And this is why ChatGPT identified her as a quote indirect competitor, because she teaches all about how to prepare and prime your audience before you even open your cart. And in fact, a lot of folks, including myself, I think in my last launch, I had about 20% of my spots sold before I even opened my doors for the Brand Video Accelerator. And by the way, if you are interested, just know that I am opening doors again for the Brand Video Accelerator later in April. So that's coming soon. And it got me thinking a lot about what Brenna does versus, in conjunction with what a brand video does. But the reason I'm bringing her up is that Brenna and I were having a conversation when I was part of her program. And it was almost like an ICA call for me where I was like asking her a bunch of questions about her pain points. And the thing that she said really stuck with me was about the leaky bucket. And I'd never heard that expression before, but I feel like as soon as I heard it, I kind of knew what she was talking about. And it was this idea that you can work your tail off getting people into your email list, into your funnels, like driving traffic, right? And even converting people. So actually getting people on your list, let's say convert them to a lead, if you will, and they fall off. They unsubscribe, they go away. A lot of people don't know why, or they assume that the reason it happens is just because of volume. It's just because people are bombarded with messages. They're bombarded with all sorts of different options. There's so much noise. There's a lot in their inbox. There's a lot of different options. And so the idea that somebody will sign up for your thing and then a few emails later, maybe one email later, maybe 10 emails later, they are unsubscribing. They're falling away, engaged anymore, / they actually, cut ties with you. Obviously, there's lots of reasons why people unsubscribe, but there is something to that. There is something to the fact that people will often unsubscribe because they either don't remember why they're following you or they just don't care. The point being that one of the biggest reasons why people unsubscribe is because there's no connection there. There's no reason for them to stay because there's no bond that you've created between you and them. And so I want to talk about the leaky bucket and not only why it happens, which we just kind of outlined, but how you can fix it. The way I see it is that we spend so much effort and so much time. It is never ending, exhausting visibility efforts on our part, right? If we don't show up and we don't run ads, like people do forget about us, right? There's so much going on and there's so much noise that they will very quickly forget about us. And what I want to talk to you about and show you an example of is how you can use something like a brand video to create that connection right away and ultimately cut down and drastically reduce your leaky bucket. So I'm going to tell you about my client, Casey. She is a sobriety and life coach. We met way in the beginning of my business, which I said way as if it were 10 years ago. It was not. Obviously, I've been doing videos for a very long time. I've been doing marketing for less time than 15 years, but I've been deep in it for about 4 or 5 years now, exclusively doing marketing. And so when Casey and I met, she had also been doing marketing. She had a position in marketing at L'Oreal, and her business, as I mentioned, is around helping women change their relationship with alcohol. Now, after we worked on Casey's brand video, so she had a brand video signature where me and my team, we write your script for you. We understand exactly how to speak to your audience to make the most impactful connection with them. This is how we script your brand video. And then we worked with a team, a very small cinematographer and assistant team in your area to film your brand video. All that footage gets sent to us. We then cut it down, we trim it, we make it into a beautiful brand video. And then we help you install the brand video system throughout your funnels everywhere you go. So that when people are coming in, they watch your brand video, they see it and they think, okay, oh my gosh, I'm never going to forget this person again. This person has now become the go-to person that I think of when I think of this problem or when I think of this solution. And so a really awesome thing that Casey brought to my world and to my students and to Brand Magnetic, like the way that she gave back to me in a way, not only was it a delight working with her, but she had a really genius idea. So I always love to credit her for this idea. And that was she took her brand video and created GIFs from it. And you know how you have in your welcome sequence that second or third email that you send to people that like, hey, here's my story. I've just connected with you on value and like, here are some tips and here's this and, look at this podcast, go to this thing. And then you eventually send them an email where you're like, this is my story. So she took that email in her welcome sequence and she decided to intersperse that email with GIFs from her brand video and telling her story. And the results were amazing. So in her words, her response rate skyrocketed to that email. I think her click-through rate tripled and her response rate went through the roof because she was encouraging people to reply with their own stories. She always had encouraged people to reply to that email with her own stories, but now they not only saw her brand video in the GIFs, but they clicked through, watched her brand video, went back to the email, and were responding to her and now sharing their stories. Now think about what I just described versus a leaky bucket, versus a situation where people are signing up to your thing, coming into your world, and not necessarily reading your emails, just not really connecting with you, and then they unsubscribe. And then they stopped paying attention to you on social, right? Because you have not created a connection with them. And so you might be doing all the right things, but the money coming in doesn't match the energy going out. And so people are coming in, the leads are coming in, but they're not sticking. They're not converting. The emotional toll that it takes on you is that you're frustrated or burnt out. You might even question, like, is this me? You're looking at maybe these smaller low ticket things, these smaller, tidbits of money hitting your account, but not the bigger stuff, not the things that really take trust to convert. And so you might be, you're trying to stay visible, but really it's exhausting. And on top of that, when people do come in, they're not staying long enough to know who you are, to really connect with you. It's not that your offers aren't good. It's just that you're not building trust fast enough. Because if you're relying on a ton of content and just like pushing content out every single day, multiple times a day to create that connection, which I call micro dosing, by the way, when you rely on tiny little bits of content to have people like piece together who you are from these tiny little bits of content that they interact with over months and months and months and months, that's called microdosing, when in fact, you should front load that connection to the beginning of your funnel so that people immediately not only know who you are, but are primed to understand who you are what your drive is, why you're different, and that you are the undeniable go-to for your thing. And so instead of relying on a ton of volume of content to hopefully make that connection before they, go through that leaky bucket and leave your world, instead using one powerful asset to do the heavy lifting for you. Because if people don't feel connected to you, they won't know why you are different and they won't care. They won't stay. So what does it cost you to have that leaky bucket? Well, it's time wasted on social all the time. It's money wasted on ads that don't keep people in, that, may convert at a low ticket level, but not at a higher ticket level. It's people being interested in what you say, but not actually asking you how they can pay you. It's missed opportunities for that big thing, for that talk, for that amazing, stage, or for bigger clients. The lower ticket sales are actually bringing people in, but they're still not really getting nurtured enough to convert. And you might have some financial pressure building, right? You might not want to add to your business debt. You might be living off of your savings. The idea is that you can make a certain amount of money. That is a good amount of money. But depending on how long it takes you to make that much money, it won't satisfy your needs for your business or for your life. And so, you could make 60 grand a year. I think that's the average in the US, 60K a year. But if you make that in a year like that, you can't really survive on that in New York or most places, and certainly not have the life of your dreams for most people. But if you make 60K in a month, now things are a little bit different. If you make 60K in a week, oh my gosh, things have really changed. And in fact, I was talking to somebody whose membership was making, I think, 180K a month. And he was like, I had to let it go. It just wasn't making enough. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. These are interesting numbers, and the idea is that we want the conversions to happen faster. We want people to know who you are and be ready to commit with you because they've connected with you, because they have a bond with you, because they trust you faster, and not have it take 6 to 12 months for this to happen. So the idea is an emotional connection shortcut. It's a trust shortcut. It's how can we accelerate that process so that we're building trust in minutes and not months. You don't need more content. You just need more connection. So what happens when people see you and feel you and trust you before you even get on a call? What happens? That's what happens, is they're ready to convert way sooner. So I would like to hear from you guys. What is your leaky bucket costing you right now? People who are coming into your universe and are deciding to take action so much later. I want you to think about this. What is your leaky bucket costing you right now? What is it costing you to bring people in, but have them leave your universe without connecting with you, without buying from you, without remembering who you are? Think of all of the wasted energy and effort that's going down the drain, quite literally, with your leaky bucket. So I'm helping entrepreneurs fix this exact problem with a brand video that connects emotionally, builds trust fast, and shortens your sales cycle without needing to hire a big video crew, without needing to know exactly what to say. I will help you with that without adding more content to your plate, without needing to show up every single day. When you have this iconic piece of evergreen content, this forever asset in your business that does the heavy lifting for you, even when you are not marketing all the time. So coming up soon, I'm going to be opening doors for the Brand Video Accelerator in late April. If you are interested in getting more details ahead of time, I'm going to have a few bonuses for folks who want to join in early. You can go ahead and DM me. Those bonuses are not available yet, but if you have questions and you want to get a sense of what that would be like to create a brand video for your business, just reach out to me on Instagram, send me a DM. I love hearing from you. I'm very, very open and responsive. Just send me a DM at Brand Magnetic, or you can email me at hello@brandmagnetic.com. I would love to hear from you. That is it for now, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you are closing all of the leaks in your buckets. And the best way to do that is to create an undeniable emotional connection with folks so that you build trust faster and they know to trust you. Every time you see you, those feelings resurge again of why they decided to get on your list in the first place and never leave. All right, my friends, I will see you on the next episode of Empire Secrets. Bye for now.